be called at full council call a special meeting tonight. Some of you have the agenda. If you don't, I have plenty of copies up here. Anyone need an agenda for tonight? Okay. Posted it earlier online so you all can see it. A few items on here. Hiring a special counsel, possible budget amendment, and then possible closed session to discuss the possible dismissal of a member. And then adjournment. So, in the 6:15, I'll call this meeting to order. If you could all please rise for the pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for prayer. Tonight, our prayer is going to be led by Mayor Mark Christopher from Williamstown. We are working very closely with one another to unify our cities, and in the spirit of unity, I'm going to have him say our blessing tonight. So please,
Bow your heads with me, please. Father God, we just thank you for today. Thank you for the time that we get to come together as a community and voice our concerns and opinions for what is going on in our city, Father God. We just thank you for everything that you give us each and every day. We ask that you be here with us this evening. Give us strength and peace and understanding and clarity as these leaders guide this city. Be with us in our hearts and our thoughts and our words tonight, Father God. Be present in our lives in every decision that we make. Let it be led by you, Father God, and let your will be done in each and everything that is done here tonight. And for the future of Falmouth and Williamstown, Father God, we just thank you for everything you give us each and every day. And it's in your gracious holy name we pray. Amen.
I promise you'll never see me dressed that well. All right. First up on the agenda tonight, and this is kind of council's meeting for this. This is a special meeting that they want to discuss. First up on the agenda is the hiring of special counsel. So I'll let the council lead the discussion.
A motion to approve the hire of Luke Morgan as our special counsel.
I'll make a motion to hire you as special counsel.
Okay. I have a motion and a second on the floor. Usually this is the time for discussion. So is there any discussion on this council? Who is this guy? Where do you come from? Anything like that? What's the purpose of the hiring of special counsel?
What is special counsel?
No discussion? No discussion? If you don't want to, I'll do a roll call. I don't want to discuss it, so keep it in the dark, right? So I want to do a roll call. We'll start with you, Amy, first.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So we're hiring somebody and they won't even answer questions to the committee.
They're gonna hire special counsel to investigate me and try to find charges on me, but they've been doing this for months, and I'll get into that later at the next meeting. Please come December 19th, and I'll lay all this out there for you. Next on the agenda is the possible budget amendment. This is where they're gonna try to take funds from the city and pay for all this unnecessary nonsense. So next on the agenda is possible budget amendment. The motion on the floor?
I motion to move $20,000 from the general fund to a line item for our special counsel.
$20,000.
I'm gonna
work to do that job.
Right?
Yeah, I'll be there, though.
Which line item? Do we need to be specific right now? Just for that one?
Well, we have general fund line items. You have to pull it from a line item.
Do we need to take it from a certain line item? Just
I mean, I would do a line item that has ample funds in it. What do you want to do?
what has animal equipment been from?
Would you all speak up, please?
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're trying to figure out where exactly these ones
They want you.
are from.
We could take it out of the public development.
Yeah.
Economic development fund.
That was
created.
originally that.
No, it wasn't. That's ARPA funds. Out of your pocket. That's ARPA funds. So you want to take it from the ARPA funds then?
Yes.
These are meant for community development, not investigations.
Just a,
It's the community development.
it's community development.
Are we-
How
you
does
just said
that
ARPA.
develop the
Are we
community?
able to take that out of
We're not allowed to speak.
Well, ARPA is not, ARPA is just a source of funds.
That's not a line item. That was the line item.
The community development thing.
Yes, I don't know, I need to.
The community development fund, so you all understand, is the surplus that I created this year for my new budget. There's $525,000 in that fund that I created to rebuild the city. That same fund, they put a $10,000 restriction on it. to
I
prevent me
second
from
the
doing
motion.
this. So that's where they're trying to take it from, is the economic development fund. I was trying to explain to you so you know what's happening. Take it away from the city. So there's motion and a second? Roll call?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Remember that. And last is closed session for KRS 61-810 for the discussion of possible dismissal of a member. Wonder who that could be.
Okay, so notice having been given of the general nature of the business to be discussed in the closed session of the Falmouth City Council, the council will go into closed session pursuant to KRS 61.810, section 1, subsection C and F. No final action of the city council will be taken in closed session. Is there a
They've already
motion to
signed
be
this.
made to go into closed session? I second it.
Well, to prevent you all from having to get up and get out here, I would ask that council.
We are.
We are, we've already decided to.
Can we vote on our going?
Got a motion.
We won't have all the time.
We vote. I vote yes.
Is there a roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, they go out there, we can talk about city problems.
So people have.
Yeah, I don't think there's a person in this room that wants you people to leave right now. I see at least one of you up there that I know for flowers. And you need to stay here and listen to the opinion of the people that you are supposed to be
That's the subject.
representing.
They're not supposed to speak until
As the
after.
subject of this discussion, I'm totally fine with what they say being said in front of public. I'm totally fine with that.
Wait, so are you not married anymore?
Let's find out, yes. I'm gonna leave my stuff out. I don't think I'll be out. We've already had this show, by the way. I want to talk to you all a little bit about what's been going on.
Where are you at?
The Ohio Youth Advisory Board. I'm a civil rights
So
activist.
just a couple of months ago, they actually had a vote to impeach me, and they all voted yes. I found out about this because a councilman told me, slip the tongue. So they've already voted on this. They've already know that what they're gonna do. They've had this in place for a long time. They've had multiple illegal meetings. I can show you an email right now from our attorney that caught them in a special meeting, told them that what they did cannot be done. Just because all 6 of them aren't in a single room, there's something called the Open Meetings Act. Anytime there's a forum before people to discuss any topic, it doesn't matter if they're all in the same room, or if one person goes and discusses the same topic with 3 others. It's a violation of the Open Meetings Act. You all, as residents, have a right and a responsibility to come here and listen to what these people are talking about.
Sebastian, I have a question.
When we're having these meetings in the public eye, you don't get to hear the debate. You don't get to hear the reasoning behind their decisions. You should. Some people think my problem is I talk too much. You know too much of what's on there. But while you all are here, I want to read an article for you guys. Hopefully this won't take too long. Actually, no, that's- So I kind of found it ironic that over the past couple of weeks, and I know how false, everyone kept calling out my foul mouth. And I know I got a potty mouth, and I promise I won't cuss again. I'll read you a little article. All right. This article actually kind of inspired me. And the same person that wrote this article inspired me to run for council. And do what I'm doing right now in front of you. The person who wrote the article, I'll explain a little bit. The name of the article, this will keep you entertained while they're out discussing God and what. The article is called A Case of Foul Mouth. We've all heard it, seen it, and possibly been victimized by it in our lifetime. The foul mouth. Yes, the classic case of the foul mouth. A grotesque and apathetic sense of being that serves as a verbal and mental representation of home for some Falmouth, Kentucky residents. To one surfing the web, looking to wiki, the small settlement he would see is that it is best remembered for natural disasters that have devastated the town over the last half of the 20th century. To the viewers watching the local news station, one may hear of massive drug roundups, flood level updates, or frequent winter school cancellations, or impeachments. To the social media or topics enthusiast, reading comments and statuses from local residents, the town is lacking a business climate. The town, overflowing with meth mouths, addicts, and a black hole for dreams. It's a cancer of thought, a contagious sense of being, and it poses a threat to the future of home for many. I've fallen victim to its magnetic approach to kill positive images of home. We all have at one point in time. It's easy to be negative, right? In 2010, when I left the nest to begin my educational path, I wondered how my foul mouth would impact my future decisions. How would I survive college when many in my class felt unprepared by their education at the only educational institution in our county, Pendleton County Schools? How would I have meshed with others who didn't grow up in a town of just over 2,000? How would I mesh with others who didn't grow in a town of just over 2,000 residents? How would I stay with my amazing girlfriend who is from the same small-minded town? Answers? What's EKU? So nothing changed. Kidding, go Colonels. In reality, I was prepared for college, and I excelled. I meshed, and I expanded my network of small-town roots. I maintained my relationship, and it grew into something greater. My foul mouth waned, and as my dad said, you get out of it what you put into it. Upon graduation in 2013, my now wife and I bought our dream home in Falmouth. Those with a foul mouth thought we were crazy, and they still question such a thing. A year into the effect of this decision, I'm liking it, but not loving it. I am angered daily by the apathy, the weakness, and carelessness of residents who have fallen victim to this cancer of their being, the foul mouth. Each and every day, I put forth my damnedest passion to find a cure. In a literal sense, through my amazing job with the American Cancer Society. I love it. I am working alongside passionate people and volunteers who have been affected and want to make a change. That's why I love it. We're moving forward as one for a common cause. My time back in Falmouth is a like, but not a love. It wasn't until I returned home that I realized why the small town has such barriers, as many see them. There is no overriding quest for advancement, or at least in a formal sense, right? They go crazy sometimes. Change is hard, and it takes work. It takes time, it takes brainstorming, and it takes people who care. As a teacher spawn, I saw that my mom's greatest excitement from those students whose potential she recognized, encouraged, and then fostered to fruition. I write this for myriad reasons. Call it a public plea, a call to at least some action, or an ask of attitude change. Call a request of your personal talents to be utilized for the greater good of your home. Call it an outlet for me to rant about wanting his hometown to be more. It's all of those things and then some. Are you ill with a case of the foul mouth? Think about your portrayal of home. We have amazing things, beautiful places, points of much pride, wonderful childhoods, great people, and most importantly, the potential to be more. You don't have to be a political leader to make things happen. Are you immune to the foul mouth or wanting to find a cure? I know you're out there. I know you want change. And you see the potential within. Let's do this. Right? Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful words.
I have a question.
Yes,
I do
ma'am.
too.
I'd just like to know specific reasons that the council wants you out. I have not
You'll have
heard
to
it.
ask council.
I have asked them. I get no answer.
Well, I can
I
tell you,
would love to know. I haven't heard anything.
I would like to know too.
And
A lot of people-
I don't want my money spent on special counsel either.
I agree.
How do you stop it?
You all keep showing up. Most people think showing up and expressing their opinions, it doesn't mean nothing. You don't think anything's gonna change.
I also have a
One
question.
voice can change the world. I'd like to finish my
Too.
article.
Please read my article to everybody.
Yes. So I'm gonna finish this.
Please finish.
You ruined it. Beautiful words. I couldn't help that, said it better myself. I pray one day I can, with my capable mind. But the person who wrote that is in this room. His mother sits right there. And I love them. They're my family. I went to school with them. They taught me. And if you ask me to this day who my most influential and favorite teacher was, you know who I'll tell you? Still, even after all this, Joyce Carson, my 6th grade history teacher, the same woman who taught me about this book right here that I pledge my allegiance to. I'm not here to make enemies. And like Kennedy said when he ran for president before they killed him, he said, I'm not here to oppose any man. I'm here to propose new policy. And that's what I'm trying to do. And after tonight, after they get their little shenanigans over, we're going to talk about how to save this city in one night. Because I got your eyes. But I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. And the person who wrote that is Alex Carson. Some I respect. I love him. He inspired me to run for council. And I told him then I was going to run for mayor one day too. And I would be standing right here and I would bring about the changes. And I know you all don't like the way I did it. But I promise you, I understand the human condition. It's like a dumpster fire, or a car wreck, or a house on fire. It's the worst thing you can possibly imagine, but you can't help but look. This is a little bit of a dumpster fire situation right here, right? But you all came, didn't you? It worked. And I had to do it by exposing corruption that I had physical evidence of. I don't want to see anybody in trouble. Carrie Pettit, Bob Pettit's wife, was my 8th grade teacher. She wrote me up for kissing this woman right here at middle school. And I got a referral for it. Luke and I's kids, our daughters are in the same class, the same grade. They play with each other. Amy Hurst is my 4th grade teacher. Daryl Ammerman, everyone knows Daryl. Everyone loves Daryl. Susan's great. This isn't Susan. This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Brandon's pretty cool. And Joyce is my favorite teacher. I'm not here to cause problems. I'm really not. I promise you. All I'm here to do is fix our city in a financial manner. That's all it is. It all comes down to what do we do with your funds. And I'm going to lay out to you tonight what I've been saying in these halls for the last 7 years, and nothing has been accomplished. We're years behind where we could have been, and you're about to see what we can do. And what you say, what can you do to fix it? You got to show up. You got to listen. And most importantly, you got to ask questions. Knowledge is power. So consume the knowledge. Speak up. Use your voice. You think this is fun? No. Social anxiety is.
Nothing. You asked them, they didn't answer.
They won't. That's indicative of what's been going on in these chambers for the last 7 years. Why does the Outlook perfectly record every meeting across the street with clear quality and video in town? How many have you seen of these meetings? Don't tell me it's faulty equipment. It's so they can control the narrative in the paper. You know it. We all know it. I speak nothing but facts in these chambers. I bring nothing but new ideas. I just brought up trash a couple of weeks ago, and they didn't even want to discuss it. Was there a couple people here for that? Was anyone here for the trash discussion?
Yeah.
That's why they wrote it down. Because no one shows up. And when you don't show up, they get rid of dispatch too. You gotta show up. Tell these people what you want them to work on and why. If you don't, they're just gonna win. They're gonna run multi-million-dollar companies, and they don't even know where the money's going. I'll show you tonight where the money's going. This presentation I'm about to show you all tonight was done back in 2019. Me and Councilman Craig Owen back there. And they laughed us out of the room, didn't they? And I'm gonna show it to you all and see what you all think. These reports right here are your actual reports for every department we run. This is all your money right here, all these little numbers and zeros. Garbage department, we lost $11,000 this year, and I did everything I could to make it profitable. Our sewer, this year lost $150,000. And again, I cut back. This right here is our water report. Water, lost $18,000 this year. And what's holding all these afloat? Your electric. Your electric rates are extremely high for a reason, so they can cover all these losses.
Mine was $600 this month, and I had a one-bedroom house. It's small.
Just to show you, some of our towns actually done by bluegrass.
Mine was 80.
We pulled these rates this morning. Our customer service charge is $19.25. Bluegrass, who does part of Falmouth, is $17.10. Our rates are 0.113 per kilowatt. Theirs are 0.084. 125% more is what you're charging on electric, so that we can fund departments that are losing money. And I've been saying this for 7 years. So you all ask, why are you making a big scene? Why are you being all dramatic? Because that's what you all want. That's what gets you here to listen to this. And that's all I'm here for. I'm not here to come after them. That's over. I'm the kind of person where you fight somebody, you hug it out afterwards, and you find a better path forward, right? That's what the Marine Corps taught me. It also taught me to improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I'm going to overcome this unity in this city, I promise you. I'm going to have to make a fool of myself a little bit. I'm going to have to go out on a limb. But I promise you, everything I'm doing is absolutely necessary to fix this city. I'm not here to get anybody in trouble. I love these people. They're my teachers, my friends, my family. I put their names on my building when we ran for council together. I love these people. So don't think I'm here to attack or belittle. But I've tried it the other way for 8 years and it got nothing. The same policies I'm going to propose and tell you about tonight are the same ones I fought for years. Right, Craig? Phyllis Wade, you here? She was on council on point. You know what it's like. We're so resistant to change, and we don't have to be. And again, if I have to make a fool of myself to get you here to listen to it, social anxiety is a very motivating factor. It'll shut you up. It'll make you be quiet. Even when you're the mayor of a city, it'll creep into your mind and shut you up from speaking the truth. Because they investigate you. I've been a judge executive and a councilman where investigating my personal finances. I have an email right now from Ryan Amberg, the guy I bought this building off of across the street. The We the People building, and I got all the crap for to paint my own damn building. Yes. I bought that building for him for next to nothing because he paid next to nothing for it. I'm trying to bring it back to life. They all just want to tear it down. And I promise you, I'm going to save that building. And I promise you this year too that the new mayor's coming back. I have a plan, a financial plan for this city. That's all I want you all to take away from this tonight. So when they're done with these shenanigans, we're going to come back in here, we're going to sit here, and we're going to go through our utility departments. I'm going to explain to you what's wrong with them and how we can fix them. These aren't new ideas. I've been saying them for the last 7 years. There are people that have been coming to previous mayors for decades trying to get us to fix our water plant, and they were all rejected. Except for one mayor, me. Because I will follow through with a good idea all day long. And you'll hear about all this tonight. And honestly, I really don't care about them what should be more. I'm not waiting on that. I'll turn the light off if anyone gets sprayed or anything, I'll turn it off. Please pay attention. We'll take whatever you do. Alright, so this right here is a presentation I gave the council almost 4 years ago. I was laughed at, I was told I was a liar, I was told I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm just some dumb kid, right? Our Falmouth utilities, so again, this, you can even see on here, this is presented by Councilman Sebastian Ernst and Councilman Craig Ellen. Falmouth Electric. Just so you all understand how our system works, we do not produce electric. And again, this was done in 2019, so some of this information is a little different. This is all accurate of the year 2019. So we buy it. own our grid. We don't own the service line that feeds Falmouth. We don't own the production aspect of it. We are a middleman. We buy our electric from a third party. It used to be LG and EKU, now we buy it from a conglomerate called KYMBA. As of 2019, we purchased it for $1.7 million. That's what we bought in electric. And then we sold that same electric to you for almost $2.1 million. $360,000 more, and it's gotten a lot worse since. And of the 400, it's a 21% increase, by the way. You could be paying the other rate that we've got. And of the 418 cities in Kentucky, I can only find public information that 28 of them operate their own electric grids, like we do. 28 of 418. This right here is how we compare to those 28. If you look, compare the service fee and our electric rates, we are the second highest in the state. Second highest. If you don't believe me, there's your references. Back in 2013, we hired a consulting firm, an engineering firm, to look at our grid and tell us what's wrong with it, how do we upgrade it. This was done in October 2013. There's the project number for you, and everything you're about to hear me read is verbatim from their report. Our electrical system is experiencing limited growth, the limited availability of equipment, pole line hardware, and transformers from the existing system voltage is an indication of the need for change. The Kentucky Utility Substation in downtown Falmouth is overloaded and antiquated. The failure of any single piece of substation equipment could result in an extended power outage to the entire city. It will be difficult to recruit new industries to Pendleton County with the existing electrical power base. Read that line again 5 more times. The Falmouth Electrical Overhead Distribution System is operating with outdated infrastructure. And we've known about this since 2013. And we're only just now doing something about it. Guess why? This right here is what they said it was going to cost to upgrade that system at that time, back in 2013. And things haven't gotten cheaper in the last 10 years, I'll tell you that. It's going to be 2 or 3 times more than that. These are the upgrades. This is how much they cost. Upgrading basically all the new lines. The only time we've done a major upgrade is this year. And you saw it happen on Selby Street. You all saw that happening? First upgrade we've done in this entire time, 10 years. The first year it happened was this year. Do you know why? 1 mile of tile circuits, yeah, here's all. $2 million for the one, 1.072, another $1 million for the backbone feeders. Total project cost that they anticipated in 2013 was $4.1 million. We've done none of it.
I got a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Who did this?
I did. Yeah, back in 2019, 2020, I think, is when we did that as a council. So I've been saying the same thing for years. You weren't listening. This right here is what our rates were at the time, and they've gotten worse. Ours is the highest. These other 3 that you see, the Bluegrass, Owen, and LGE, KU. Those are the 3 companies that have power systems and power grids in our county. So if anyone was going to bid on it, it's going to be those 3. Look at the difference in rate. Look how much cheaper they're already. And they have incremental rates as well. So the people that are poor, single income families, retired, that's who those numbers are tailored for. So they're paying, starting out 0.073 for Bluegrass and 0.063 for Upland. You use less, you pay less. You use more, you pay more. That helps out the poor community. We are a very poor community. These are the people that should be running our system, not us, because we don't know what the heck we're doing. And if you want references, they're all right there at the bottom too. These numbers are going to be a little different because obviously they've done some of the rate adjustments. Our rates are higher, those are higher, but they're all relatively the same. And then we have service charges on top of that. In 2019, we charged $19.25. Look at the other ones charged. It's cheaper across the board. And if you want to see the references, they're right there at the bottom. Take a picture and go look it up yourself. This right here to show you that this does affect everyone. County residents, city residents, everybody. Apples to apples. We have 2 elementary schools in this county that are identical. They are built the same, they are staffed the same, they are open the same number of hours all year long. If you're going to compare a building to a building, apples to apples, this is where it's at. Southern Elementary costs $110,000 a year. Northern Elementary, which is run by KU, is $86,000 a year.
Can I ask a question
That's
about?
$23,000 a year that they're paying more for electric at Southern than Northern. Why? So we can fund departments that are losing money. If You say they're not, it's right there. You can't deny it anymore. I have access to the records. I have a business degree in administration and accounting. I know what I'm looking at. Am I young? Yes. Am I naive? Absolutely. Am I gonna slip up and fall? Damn right I am. But I'm gonna get back up, and I'm gonna take this city forward. That's what you're spending every year. So don't say it doesn't affect you because you're a county resident. Those are your tax dollars when you pay taxes to the school. That's where they're going. And this is the options I gave council back in 2019, 2020. Said the same thing. But look, this doesn't make the paper, right? Option one was we continue to maintain and service our own electric grid, like we're doing now. We take out loans and cover the cost of upgrading our system. And if you thought those upgrades, the $4 million back in 2013, that's gonna be twice, 2 or 3 times as much. So you're talking $8 to $12 million to fix our grid. That doesn't even fix the $6 to $8 million transmission line that we have coming into town. And that's what I was discussing at the last meeting. Our transmission line is a dedicated line that feeds only Falmouth. The whole line is about 5 to 6 miles. It has to be replaced. That line is owned by KU. For us to use that line, they charge us $6,000 a year. That amount is going to go from $6,000 a month. It's going to go from $6,000 a month to $65,000 a month. Times that by 12. We got to come up with another $600,000 a year to cover this. Where's it coming from? We don't know. Just jack the rates up, right? So I told them what we needed to do back then. I got laughed out of the room. And then the option two is what I've been proposing for the last 3 or 4 years. The same thing I proposed with everything. Same thing I proposed with the fire department. Let's come together and make our money work the best way it can for us. And option two is the best option, and we're forced to now. Our leverage is gone. The value's decreased. It's like having a used car. At a certain point, it's going to cost you more to keep it than to just buy a new car. And it's the same thing with water too. We'll go over that as well. And this is the same options I'm going to put out there over the next few months. If we do this, if we outsource through the Public Service Commission, they have to bid on our grid. They have to pay fair market value. It's worth millions. So when you wonder where am I going to get the money to rebuild our town, we can sell our electric grid right now, get you cheaper rates, and use those millions of dollars to go out there and rebuild our city. And because we're a poor community, there's so many grants out there available for us, 50-50 matching grants. And some, based on our income in here in town, is 75-25. So if you got $1 million, you can get 3 from the government. I mean, it's your money anyways, right? Let's get it. But if you don't have the matching funds, they won't match. You have to have the initial funds to allow them to do the match. That's where we get the money from right there. Millions. And we can make it go twice as far, 3 times as far. I'm applying for the necessary grants. And I promise you, I will. We're already doing it. So that's electric. And that's why we need to get the heck out of it. And we will, because we're speaking things into existence tonight. This right here is our water. Yes, the one that caused all the controversy. This is the same topic that I'm about to discuss with you that they're about to impeach me over for trying to incite panic amongst the populace. Only people panicking are them, not you. What I said was true, and I'm about to prove it. This right here has made this morning because this meeting was last minute. I thought I had till the 19th to make this, so I apologize, it's a little rough. I just made this a couple hours ago. So our water treatment account. This might get me impeached, but oh well. All right. So the water treatment for basically all of the county is done here in Falmouth. We have our own facility. If you don't know where it's at, it's right down the road here on East Shelby Street. You go right up this, walk a block down this way. It's a little plant right there. Very old, very outdated. So we are a water producer and a distributor. East Pendleton and Hamilton County Water are just distributors. They don't produce their own water. They buy it from us at wholesale rate, mark it up a little bit to fund their staff and fixing the lines, upgrades, things like that. Which is what I'm trying to get Falmouth to do. Get out of the production business, and I'll explain to you why we need to. So our treatment plant, we produce around 200 million gallons a year or so of water, drinking water. Falmouth, if you look here, the top only uses 14% of the total water we produce. So of that 200 million gallons, we're using about 28 million. Pendleton County Water is using around 64 million, 32%. East Pendleton Water is using about 108 million, which is 54%. So those are the 3 that we're selling to. We're selling it to you all as the people of Falmouth, and then we're selling it at a wholesale rate to East Pendleton and Pendleton. That's where we get our revenue from. And to show you how out of whack this is, you'll need to see these graphs. So even though we use 14%, Pendleton uses 32%, and East Pendleton uses 54%, the bottom graph here at the bottom where it says revenue, so even though you all as Falmouth residents only use 14% of the water we produce, you make up 46% of our revenue. Why is that? It's the same argument I made with fire. You gotta pay your equal percentage, right? Pendleton pays 20% of our total revenue for a year, East Pendleton pays 34%. If you want it to be fair, the bottom graph should look as close as possible to the top graph. This is a problem. And this is why this year, after almost 30 years, I started the process of increasing our wholesale water rates, and I'll explain to you why. This isn't anything against East Pendleton or Pendleton, and they know I want nothing more than to work with them to do this new idea. That's not my idea. It's their idea. And I'll explain it to you. So currently, our current cost to produce water as of this year, and again, this hasn't been this bad all the time. It's been slowly getting a little bit worse over the last 30 years. So it's not always been this bad. It's just this bad now. So it costs us $2.93 right now to produce 1,000 gallons of water. And that's artificially low because none of the cost of our cleaning department is included in that expense. It's not factored into the rate, even though it should be. We're gonna take care of that later, but depending on what we do with the East Pendleton Pendleton, we may not have to. So even though it cost us $2.93 to produce 1,000 gallons, that's our cost. We're selling it right now for $1.98 per thousand to East Pendleton Pendleton, our wholesale rate. So to put that into something you can understand, it's like if you open up a store and you sold a widget for $2, but it costs you $3 to buy it from the factory. That doesn't make sense. How many widgets can you sell before your savings are gone? Right? You gotta sell it for more than what it costs you to make it. So if you don't, you're gonna lose money. So as of this year, we have 197 million gallons of water that we'll be selling at wholesale. If you take the rate increase that I'm trying to get down to the city, last year we brought in an additional $180,000 into our water department. The same water department that's losing $20,000 a year. So instead of losing money every year, we profited by adjusting a rate equal to what it is. And this is all I'm proposing, and this is what's going to get me impeached, just so you know. So what upgrades are needed in our system? If we keep it and we don't decide to do a new water district, we keep it ourselves, what are we looking at? This has to be done. This isn't me saying this. This is the engineers. This is our water treatment supervisors. These things have to be done. First is a GAC, the granulated activated carbon. We've known about this for 5 years that we need this. This is what will take care of the PFAS issue. Again, there's no federal or state regulations on PFAS, so of course we're within standards. There is no standard. But we've known about it for 5 or 6 years and we've not taken a plan of action to correct it. So when I say there's poisons in your water, this is what I'm talking about. We know it's there. The EPA knows it's there. Our state knows it's there. We all know it's there. So let's do something about it. Do we wait till the federal government or the state comes in and tells us what to do and puts us under a agreed order and fines us? No, we have the opportunity to get in front of it and fix it ourselves without the federal government, without Frankfurt getting involved. We can take care of our own problems. We don't have to rely on the almighty state. So the GAC system is going to cost around $5 million. That's what's going to take the PFAS out of the water. The new reservoir that I talked about 80-something years old, it's got to be taken out. I have inspections of it. It's got a lot of issues. There's metal falling apart in there. There's access to it where rodents and things can just climb in there. It needs to be upgraded. We can't just sugarcoat the issue. We even talked about it so you all understand the importance of fixing it. And we're going to fix it. But it's going to cost $5 to $6 million. The lamella replacement, $200,000. The old clear well, $200,000. We got to replace 6 of the filter valves. They're $25,000 a piece. There's another $150,000. Go down the list. All of these things are pointed out by our water treatment supervisor and our engineers that have to be fixed now. The estimated cost to keep it and to fix these things, which are a lot of these are just band-aids. So why put a band-aid on an issue that we can do fundamental surgery on and fix? It's going to cost us between $13 and $15 million. Where's that money coming from? The department's losing money every year. It doesn't have any money. And all the money it does have in reserve, it took from the electric department. And that's why we don't have any money to fix our electric grid. What is PFAS? Just so you all understand what I'm talking about. I call it a poison because that's what you all understand. If I come out there and say it's polyfluoroalkyl, you're like, no, that's not too bad. But this is what it does to you. And right here on the right, notice anything about the states that have the highest cancer rates? They're all along the Mississippi River. Why is that? Because all the industry, all the runoff, it all goes into the rivers, always. That right there is from a federal agency. That's the highest rates in the country of cancer and death. Look where they're at. You know who the highest is? Kentucky. Let's fix it. Right below that is the county map. Look where they're all at. All the sources that pull water from the Mississippi. I don't have to be an expert on something to know poop when I smell it, right? Okay, so what does it do to you? And this is all directly from the EPA website. I'm not trying to induce panic. I'm trying to tell you there's an issue that we can fix. So let's fix it. Let's not be so reactionary and wait for the federal government or Franklin to tell us what to do. This is what it does to you. Reproductive effects such as a decreased fertility, increased high blood pressure in pregnant women, developmental effects or delay in children, including low birth weight, accelerated puberty, bone variations, behavioral changes, increased risk of cancer, including prostate, kidney, and testicular cancer, reduced ability of the body's immune system to fight infections, including reduced vaccine response, interference with the body's natural hormones, increased cholesterol levels and or risk of obesity. Doesn't that sound like America's problems? And what does the EPA recommend? Exactly what I'm doing right now tonight by getting you all engaged so we can fix the issue. This is directly from the EPA website. If you get your water from a public drinking water system, reach out to your local water utility to learn about how they may be addressing PFAS, as well as ask them to test the water for PFAS and to share information with you if they have already tested the water. This is me sharing the information with you, which is an EPA recommended guideline for me to do. So I'm going to do it. I'm not trying to scare you all. I'm just trying to let you know what our issues are. I'm telling you, they're all man-made.
Why did they just say it's all good then in that?
Because there's no federal or state regulations making an acceptable level of PFAS in the system. There's no federal or state regulations, so it's all fine. Like bar braiding on South Park, nothing to see here. There is something to see here. Let's fix it. And here's our water department budget for the last year. This is what we lost. $18,000. Where did the money come from? How can you lose money every year? Year after year after year. Where did it come from? It comes from your electric department, and that's why we don't have any funds in the electric. How can we afford the upgrades on our own? Pretty simple. We can't. So what's the plan? And according to recent meetings with our engineers, East Pendleton and Pendleton, and they can verify all this too, to upgrade our system would cost between 13 and 15 million. I just outlined it in a few previous slides. To build a brand new facility capable of removing these toxins, yes, poisons, it would cost around 18 to 20 million. This is when you need to think about, is it worth keeping the old car or do we buy a new one? We can get a new one. And if it's 18 to 20 million dollars and there's 3 agencies going into doing that, Falmouth, East Pendleton, and Pendleton, we gotta cover a third of that. And we will still own that grid. So even though we only buy 14% of the water, we'll own 1/3 of the station. You all already agreed to it, so that's what's gonna happen. All right, so that cost will be a third. So to keep it, we're looking at upgrading our system and it'll still be in the flood zone. Next time the flood comes, it's gone. Replace $15 million to put in the flood zone, and next flood's gonna take it away. We can do it out of the flood zone, again, this is my plan. We can do it out of the flood zone, have a better system, be prepared for the flood, and keep your water rates relatively the same, and your water will be so much cleaner. This isn't about our water's not good enough, but it can be better. And it's that striving to do better and be better that separates weak men from good men. We can do better, and we will do better.
Are you advising us not to drink the water?
No, I mean, it passes all regulations. No water is worse than bad water. And I'm not saying it's bad, it's not, it takes years for these effects to cause issue and harm. But when you're drinking it from a young age, 30, 40, 50 years, why risk it? We don't have to risk it. We can take it out of the water. And we could have done this decades ago when Wayne Lonaker approached every single mayor for the last 15 to 20 years, and every single one said no. But why? It wasn't brought before council, it's a council decision. Why wasn't that brought before us?
It was brought before council, and we were on there together, and you didn't show up at the meeting.
No.
Yeah, it was.
Yes, I agree.
So why didn't they do that then? Wayne Lonaker told me the last mayors for the last 15 to 20 years all rejected the idea, that's why it went nowhere. It comes from the top. Don't try to make this sound like it's something else.
Even if
Wayne,
it did go to council, why didn't they do anything with it then?
It's a great question. I mean, it's a cooperation of all parties for sure.
sorry. Okay, so again, this isn't a new plan. This has been talked about for 15 and 20 years, and we've been talking about all this stuff before. Every mayor that was approached in the last 15 to 20 years rejected the idea. This was never brought up and discussed at length ever. If they brought it up during one meeting, you missed it. You didn't make it that one, you missed a pretty big meeting. What I've been doing is having meetings, I've been inviting council, and sitting at that table right there and collaborating to do this. And this is what needs to be done. How can your elected officials make the right choices when we aren't even provided all the options? Tonight I'm providing you options. We can keep doing what we're doing, or we can do something very different that will yield way better results. We know what doing nothing gets us. We have to do something. When they come back in here, the part of the thing, oh, we're starting to work on these things. You know why? He's got a mayor that cares, that's looking into these things. This isn't a full-time job for this. Sorry, it hurt a little bit, sorry. This isn't a full-time job. I don't work 9 to 5 like a judge or some other mayor. We take 12,000 a year. This is a part-time thing, but it needs full-time dedication. And I promise you, I am dedicating every ounce of my body to fixing the city. And what I can't do in here, I go out there and do with my own 2 hands. You see it. Have you seen the changes this year?
A second.
I want good change. I don't want to fight. I promise you I don't want to fight. But if we have to fight a little bit in order to get past the hurdles, we all know each other, right? We all say the best and the worst thing about this town is that we all know each other. The good and the bad, right? We're all little dirty little secrets about all you guys. And I'm sure you've heard all of them about me. But a lot of them are lies too. A lot of gossip. And that's why you need to show up. Ask questions. Get to know your elected officials. See who walks out when things get hard. I'm willing to sit here and do this every single month with you all. And I promise you, if you keep showing up, I'll make every single meeting more exciting than the last. I'll serve popcorn, I'll bring you treats, drinks, anything I have to do to get you here to listen. Because that's what it's going to take to change the city. Like I said last week, you can't do gossip, but you don't need the truth. I understand I had to say some pretty outlandish things, but the craziest thing about it is that they're all true. I have evidence of all of it. So I want to just ignore all that. If we can get forward and put a plan out there that will save this city, and this will do it. We won't be losing money anymore. We can sell the electric grid, use the millions of dollars to rebuild the city. You think that project in middle school is a lost cause? No, that's 6 months to 9 months away from being open to the community. We just pull all the bull crap aside, the investigations, the open records request every other day, clogging up City Hall. It's all to slow things down. And again, this has all been discussed for years. Brandon sat here and listened to most of it. We've been talking about these things a million times, but if we don't act and we don't have a plan, nothing's going to fix itself. And sometimes people have to show up and make a fuss and tell the people how you want them to vote. They're going to try to impeach me because I said there's poison in the water. There really is. They're going to take us through a $20,000, $30,000 lawsuit. They already got the votes to do it. Do you think that's going to stop me? No. I'll keep getting louder. I'll run for council next election. I'll win the next mayor's race. I don't care. Them removing me might be a good thing. Because you're going to see how incompetent and how right back to the things we are. We'll go right back to the old ways and nothing will happen. Are you all willing to accept that?
No.
I'm not. And that's why I've got you here tonight. Because if I say this thing to an audience of none, who's listening? Does all this make sense to you guys? You have questions for me? I'll answer any questions you have right now. But please keep them about the topic. I don't want to discuss corruption.
So what are you gonna do this water treatment plant that, you're talking about?
When or where?
Where? If you're gonna get out of the funds on this, you gotta do the river.
I mean, we have Reservoir Hill. We own plenty of city properties. We have areas south of town that we can find in different rivers. I mean, we're looking into that now. We started the project. I agreed to funding. We're going to start looking into that. We got to build a project profile. It costs a little bit of money. And this whole project's going to take years. But my problem is that we could have started it decades ago. Why wait? Why wait for the state to come and tell us we have to?
I feel like since the flood, the ones that have been here, I've been here for 45 years. Same place, never moved. And there's a lot of people that left, and then so many that stayed are still having to make up the money that the people that left that used to pay. So now the ones that are here, rip them out things, are paying for all this. That's, you know.
I agree.
I looked at my electric bill for the first time. I just always paid it. And I wonder why I'm paying.
It's the fun these other departments are losing money. We don't have to. With water, with electric, we can just have bluegrass one door companies. With water, we come together with the distribution companies, form a new district. That'll make Falmouth a distributor, not a producer. So we'll buy the water from this new facility, which will be much cleaner, at the same rate as East Pendleton and Pelham will buy. We all own it together, so we all get the low rate. And as a distributor, we'll mark that rate up a little bit so we can start fixing our water lines in town. One lot of times in a water line time to fix. You've seen one done in the last 6 years?
I've seen one explode on my street.
Yeah, we're reactionary. We fix them when they break. That's not a good policy. Is there any other questions for me? Yes.
Yep, I got one.
Yes.
Right here, I just looked it up, what you're talking about. Back in 2018, you voted with the rest of the council unanimously to authorize every bit of what you're talking about that you just said, which is, you're saying you did not vote for. But it says right here in an article, and your words that you voted for it, and actually there's words from Mayor Stinson that said that you would use it against him in the upcoming election. And if anyone wants to look it up, I can tell you that it's a WLWT5 nowcast. All you have to do is Google it. Not that hard to Google. If you want to know the truth, go on Google.
So what's
he's saying?
What's the point then that you're saying it was voted on and never happened?
Everything you're saying that you have been fighting for all of this stuff,
Yeah.
but you have not fought for nothing because you were sitting on the council that actually said, let's raise the rates.
Well,
You were on the council.
please don't yell. We don't have to do that. I'm not
I
sure.
am a 20-year vet.
So am I.
You're not a 20-year
I'm a
vet.
veteran. Don't use veteran against me. Come on.
Proud.
I'm in the Marines. I'm a sergeant.
Oh,
Don't tell me.
please.
Don't tell me.
You were only in the Marines for 5 years. I already looked it up.
Pathetic.
Please give me some restored valor stuff. Please come on.
Can we just keep it civil, please?
This is who's against these items.
I know,
Any other questions?
Yes, please come on so I can bring it on so I can take you above the VA. Please. I would be more than happy to as a 20-year combat veteran who just came out of the military and just retired. And I lived here in Pendleton County longer than you've probably been
So are you
alive.
opposed to the idea of forming a new one? I guess I'm confused. Are you opposed to the idea? You want to keep it or what?
I'm opposed to everything that you've been trying to do because I look across the street at a building that you bought
2 months ago.
and I know
2 months ago.
for a
It's
fact
got a brand new roof on it.
that
It's
you
$13,000 on there.
were giving an actual citation for that building
I did.
and you walked away somehow from having to fix that building. How is that? And how is that that building across the street where kids come, your kids right here, your kids could go right across that street and that thing could fall right on their heads.
I agree. No, you're-
And you have not done nothing about it.
Yes, I have. I put a whole new roof on the back. Things take time.
Go out there. Anyone can go out there. I'm not lying. You walk right outside, walk across the street to that building, and that eaves can fall right on your head.
The building that he's talking about is the way that people know it. I just bought it a couple months ago. I've already invested $13,000 into it. The whole thing is being completely rebuilt over the next 6 months. It didn't get like that in the last 2 months that I've owned it. It's been sitting there for decades and decades and decades. And you know what? The first citation time we're getting to? Me. my own code enforcement officer is finding me and I accept it, fine me, don't I? Yes. I am getting fined on it. I'm finding myself. But you know what? I also have a plan to fix it. I'm working with them. I've talked to them about how we're going to fix it. I have the financial plan to fix it. I have to choose my personal account. I'm discussing my personal business with you all, but I will because I'm an honest person. I got 2 properties that I'm selling right now. All the money I'm making off that is going into my buildings downtown. Every penny I work for and make goes into my buildings downtown because I put my money where my mouth is. Is it done right now? No. But there's improvements. You can't walk out downtown and say it looks worse now than it did 6 years ago, right? I'm working on it. I'm one person, 31 years old, trying to do all of this. It's difficult to raise hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to save these villages that have to be saved. But I'm gonna do it anyways, because you deserve it, Falmouth deserves it, it's worth saving. Their mindset's just to tear it down. No, I have a plan to fix it, and I'm gonna fix it. And I'm sorry, you're right, yes, the building needs to be fixed, it's a hazard. That's why I'm getting fined for it, through my own code enforcement officer. I see the issue. I'm glad.
Been another 2 months.
Okay, 2 or 3 months. And I appreciate you.
Been another 2-3 months.
Okay, even 6 months, okay, whatever. I appreciate you for your service. Thank you.
Sebastian, was that building not condemned?
Owned it for more. He's been and owned it for more than 2 months. Unless you know what you're talking about.
We are still in a meeting.
No, I don't live this meeting, but I do live in Falmouth.
You could look at them, good look at them. Are you doing anything about it?
Are you?
Yeah. So he's worried about a building.
Why? Because I live in Pilton County.
Was that building
He said
condemned
he
years
questions.
ago? Was it ever condemned?
Not that I'm aware of.
I thought it was.
Well, we don't have a local building, like code inspector, so if it was condemned, it wasn't done by the city of Falmouth. That's actually something I'm working on. We need one. Well, for commercial, we do residential, we do one.
I've looked into
Any other
that about
questions?
being, I can find no record.
I thought it was.
I heard the same thing. I looked, I could not find no record of it.
If our infrastructure and everything is in such disrepair, why are we spending potentially multi-million dollars into a community center? With no plan of how much it's gonna cost at the end of the
I know how
time?
much it's gonna cost, about $1.5 million. So there's 2 separate funds for the city of Falmouth. There's a general fund, which is your taxes, which is what you use for your sidewalks, your streets, parks, community centers, things like that. And then we have what's called a utility fund, which funds water, sewer, trash.
No, I understand all that.
And those funds are losing.
But ARPA funds.
They can't commingle,
ARPA
is what it
funds were
is.
taken for this community development center, when we could have been investing those funds into infrastructure improvements that are much needed.
Right, but if we use all those funds on the infrastructure that we could possibly be getting away from, it'd be a waste of money to upgrade something just to stop.
Absolutely not a waste.
I agree the infrastructure needs to be fixed, I actually both do. I want to see it fixed. We've done nothing over the last 6 years to do anything about it. I'm trying to do something about it now. I just saw how quickly a year can go by in this position and not accomplish anything. You guys see changes. It's not enough for me. Since I've got elected, I have saved us hundreds of thousands of dollars in our budget. I renegotiated the fire contract with the county. I could have potentially brought in an additional $125,000, but council set on $50,000 more. An additional $75,000 I just walked away from. They had to pay it. They chose a lesser amount. You got that, on top of the water rate increase, all of these things I'm looking at, we're getting things done. But if it happened so much quicker, it could have happened years ago, and yes, our infrastructure is falling apart. But money spent on roads and recreation centers and things like that is a completely separate pot of money than utilities. ARPA funds are unrestricted right now. ARPA funds were originally designated to help pay for employees during COVID, any loss of revenues. We were required by law to give a portion of that as like a bonus for employees that stayed during COVID. The rest of it right now is undesignated. About $500,000, a little over $400,000 in there. And with that, I allocated $250,000 for the school, around $100,000. It might be off a little bit, I'm still off memory right now. We did around $100,000 towards fire hydrants, which we haven't had any fixed in the last 6 years. We're starting to fix them ourselves. And what is council trying to do? They're trying to outsource all the fire hydrants that have been done by private companies. One of them's a conflict of interest with one of the council members up here. So why would we outsource something that we can take care of in-house ourselves? We have the fire hydrants, we have the manpower, they're getting paid out of the water department and water distribution departments, but we don't have time to fix it. Why? Because these guys are running trash all over. Department's losing money. Why don't we get away from those? Apply the necessary fees on each one. It generates revenue for our general fund, so we can pay people to go out there and do the whole water distribution thing. We can start having these people fix water lines, fix fire hydrants, fix sidewalks, fix roads. That's infrastructure. That's stuff that we can help fix. And we're going to. Do you have any other questions?
I do.
Yes, sir.
On the selling of the electric grid and the profits that would come from that, how much of that would go to the fixing of the water, for the new water plant and cleaning the water?
Well, that would be a council decision. The mayor does not create the budget or say where the money goes to or how it's allocated. I only spend what council allocates for me. I would like to see some of it go towards it if we can. But until we know what it's actually going to cost us and we have that product profile built, we may be able to do it without using that money. I'd like to see those funds go into a high interest savings account for the general fund, so it's building up. While we can decide what grants to apply for and how to make that money go to work for us. So if I have something in like a water, we want to put a new treatment plant at $6 million, and we want to put $1 million of that towards it from the selling of the electric, we can do that. So we won't have to take out loans for everything. We can use our assets and put the assets to work for us and sell them and use those assets to fix.
So this would be basically a loan taken out
For what?
for the water.
If we were to do it now, we have some money in our reserve fund, but I see nowhere near enough to fund, $20 million. It would require grants, loans, and that way we could manage that small principal payment group. So instead of paying $8 million now, we can afford from $100 to $200 a month. And that's what they would do. Anytime you do a project like that, you're actually required to do a rate study to fund the new principal amount. So until we get to that point, we don't know whether it's going to go up a little bit or stay around the same. That's why you have to go by the protocol. That's why you have to look into these things and see what's going to cost.
I have a follow-up to that. So with the crumbling electric infrastructure, in your honest opinion, based on your knowledge, do you believe that could have an effect on the efficiency of the grid, affecting people's rates?
Yes, it's not only more expensive, but the type of electric we use is an outdated system. There's more loss in the transmission, I guess. It's kind of what I explained before, like energy loss in the system. Upgrading it to the 15 kilowatt system, not only have more efficient electric, but cheaper electric. Just like with the water. Cleaner water,
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I just want to say, we have an underground submarine in this town, so I highly suggest using it, because I've been using it just to sway away. So people that have it in their yard can sway away from the city water, filter their own water. I grew up in system water, so I know how to do it. But it's literally going right down Robbins, all the way down here. Underground submarine, the same. Anyone that wants to utilize it can wait for the city water can. Or,
You want to dig a hole?
I'm saying, like,
Any other questions?
So why don't they do it?
Do what?
Do what you're saying?
Any of this?
Anyway.
I don't know.
Because it's not presented in a compromisable way, in a way that we're compromising. It's my way or the highway, and if it's not his way, then it's.
I have a thought.
So, wait a minute, so there's been other mayors in the last, I'm just gonna say the last 6 years, like I said, I've been here for 45. And I haven't seen any changes.
So, Mayor, the follow-up to that, do you believe that you would be willing to make some compromises to come to a decision to finalize this?
I'm always willing to compromise if it's a good plan. But I will never compromise the health or safety or the well-being of my city just for the sake of compromise. No. It's not my way. It's the right way. And if I'm wrong, prove it. I'm willing to have my mind changed. I've changed it many times in my life. Change my mind. Debate me. Tell me why my plan is wrong and yours is right. And if you convince me, I will follow you all the way. Just like I thought the water plant was worth keeping until I met with Wayne and talked about his plan. And it made sense. So my path changed. And And they'll say that that's not compromise, you just change direction. Compromise for the sake of compromise, you don't want to do that. We end up with what's happening in our country, right? You gotta fight for what's right, even if you're the only one fighting for it. And it's difficult, trust me. I have social anxiety, really bad. So I gotta overcome that, so that I can come here and speak some truth to things. And am I right on everything? Probably not. But we're not gonna know the truth unless you show up, ask questions, and figure out where their mindsets are. I mean, how long are they gonna figure out whether or not they're gonna be here? I know they're gonna be here. Just quit wasting time, get your butts back in here, and let's do some good for the city. That's what I'm trying to do. Any questions? Anybody got any good jokes?
Oh yeah, no, I do have another follow-up question. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, I spoke to a lot of citizens in this community who stated that there was no real alternative options for city council members. How does one go about, running for city council? So, some of the people who want to make a difference in this community can step up. How would they go about running for city council to make a difference in their community?
Yeah, so city council being a legislature, they want to keep the term as short as possible. So if you don't like what they're doing, you can get them out. If you like what they're doing, you can keep them going. So city council elections are every 2 years. Mayor's elections are every 4. So we're 1 year in, so the very next council election could be next November, 1 year from now. I think the cutoff is in June, some time frame for you to submit. You gotta have $50. You just go across the courthouse, go in there and file for. Yeah, okay, so you get a little petition, you gotta have 2 signatures from residents. You get 2 signatures from residents, take it over there, you pay your $50 fee, and then you're on ballot. It's
Okay.
very simple.
Okay.
The council we have right now, and this isn't to bash them, I love these people. I understand I came out loud and aggressive last time, but I can promise you all, I got a good head on my shoulders. I got a good heart. And I would never do anything to try to hurt anybody or anyone, especially the people I represent. Yes,
So-
the most important thing you do is run.
What kind of obligation is city council responsible for? So, for example, how much of your time is your duty as city council versus can you have your day job? What does that look like?
By state law, council has to have a monthly regular meeting to conduct business. We have an ordinance to where we go to a caucus meeting, which is so we're supposed to have tonight a caucus meeting, but they changed it to a special. That's just open discussion for town hall type things. We go come here, ask questions, talk about these issues, have little presentations. That happens, so there's 2 a month. The first Monday, or first Tuesday at 6:30 is when we usually do those, and then the third Tuesday at 7 is when we do a regular meeting. The next one's December 19th. I urge you all to come because then we'll have an agenda and we are going to vote on these things through a resolution, a municipal order, whatever we got to do so that you all can understand where they stand. Do they support this or do they not? And you got to show up to do that. And if you don't feel like they're doing a good job, run. I didn't think people were doing a good job, so I ran. I was in the minority. It's tough. I mean, it's tough to feel unwelcome. I know what it feels like. But please keep showing up. Bring passion to it. When you bring passion back to these positions, not just having boring. Some of these meetings are boring, right? No one wants to come and sit here on a Tuesday night. They'd rather be home with their friends or their family. Like I want to do right now. I'm starving. I don't even know what's for dinner tonight. Go look at her. 9 months pregnant.
So last week, or whenever the last meeting I came, I had never been, like I said, and I seen you were hot, mad, and then the city council people, they were mad because you were mad. Didn't agree with what you were saying. So, why can't you guys get along? I'm just saying. There isn't anybody who's got a hotter temper than me. I could never be in the council because I'm kind of like on the whole lot.
That's what we need, though.
I would be too.
But you asked, why can we get along?
Why can't you get along? Why can't you make this work?
I've been trying for years. I really have. And you can say that I've been pushing it my way, how I've been very consistent on what I've been pushing for. It's not changed. Why can't we work together? I don't know. I want to. I I would like to get past this whole.
I'd like the other people to be in here to come here with that.
Well, it really doesn't help when you accuse them all of having illegal meetings.
I can share.
That doesn't help much. There has never been any such thing.
I'll show you an email right now from our attorney to all of council when they admitted to him that they wanted to vote on an ordinance. They already met. They already had the way they were going to vote on it. You can't do that. I'll show you right now. Let's bring it up. Sorry, Jim. If you want to see, but I mean, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. And just last meeting, you all know what a resolution is?
Yeah, do you know what a press release is?
Council doesn't do press releases.
Yes, they did.
No, that's not how it works. So council can vote on three things. It's called resolutions, municipal orders, and ordinances. Resolutions are a statement of opinion, like a press release. It requires a vote of council. That way they have to come in here and discuss these things in front of you and tell you why they're releasing this. They don't just go and do this at their house or go around and solicit votes and emails or whatever. These discussions need to happen here. Tell me why I'm wrong. Don't just put out a press release. Say it in these chambers to my face in front of the people when the cameras are rolling. The people deserve to hear what's going on in their minds. They deserve to hear what they're saying in there right now. But you don't hear it. When you show up, you leave. I will sit here and answer any questions. And I've never accused anybody of anything I don't have concrete evidence of. I promise you. I will give it to the papers. I will put it out there tonight.
Put it out there real quick then. You keep saying that,
I'll pull it up right now. Hold on, let me say.
you keep saying that you have proof, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
But after all is said and done, speaking on behalf of people, let's grow up and act like adults. Let's stop the fighting and start working together.
Calling for the resignations doesn't help either.
No, again, I know I said some things I shouldn't have.
You demanded it.
They're trying to impeach me over talking about water. What's more? What's worse? Come on. Don't investigate me. These people are investigating. Bob Pettit has been calling and investigating my personal business dealings. He shouldn't be doing that. It's not his role. When you come at me and get in my face after a meeting, after disrespecting my mother-in-law, a city employee, and telling her to leave, this is your building? No, it's not. This is the people's building, not council's building. These are not council's chambers. These are your chambers. All the power we have up here derives from who? Us. You, the people. And who do you get your power from? God. That's the chain of command in this city. God, the people, us. We work for you all, not the other way around.
Exactly.
Okay, so this right here. I got something different on my screen. I wanted to whip up the votes to undo everything I was trying to do with the county. The column. For all due respect, your employee was calling me a drug dealer.
I can't help that. That's all personal.
Small town.
You called me a damn liar and a coward.
You did. You lied about little things. You're trying to mislead people to think that I'm some mean guy coming in here trying to make things.
What did I lie about?
You're over there saying about how council's trying to get rid of fire hydrants. You don't even understand some of the things you're talking about. You're misleading
Yeah, I
people.
understand pretty well.
You were misleading people to try to make them think I'm some crazy lunatic that doesn't know what he's talking about. You're misleading people. I know what I'm talking about, Jeff. I know I'm young, and I'm naive, and I said bad things about you and your family. I'm sorry. But I'm telling you right now, I didn't put or accuse anybody of anything I don't have evidence of. And they did have meetings. That's why our attorney sent this email out. This is from, hold on, this is from our attorney.
The attorney reader?
After a council member came to him, his wife, to tell him that they already had all the votes they needed to pass an ordinance, to take all the funding that I took from the county and give it back to him. He said he can't do that. He can't go around whipping up votes on legislation or ordinances like that. He can't. So he sent this email out, I'm gonna read it verbatim. He says, I am running based on the calls received from several council members. I would also advise that under the Open Meetings Act, non-public meetings to solicit a vote is in violation of the act. Information may be shared, not a sort of whipping up the votes, which is what they were doing. I am writing to discuss the creation, and then he goes on to talk about planning and zoning and why I have the legal authority to take that money back from the county and invest it into our city. That's my right as the mayor. They don't have to like it, but to have a secret meeting, to whip up the votes, to undo my authority is illegal. And I know about this. And I could have said this to the Attorney General and had them all fine. But you know what? I sent them an email instead and said, hey, instead of having secret meetings, work with me. Sit with me, talk with me. You know what the response I get? Nothing. Don't tell me I don't try to extend the olive branch. I do. You just don't see it. You see what you see on Facebook. You got me all figured out, don't you? You don't. Come talk to me, see what's going on in my mind before you start casting judgments or talking bad about me or people call me a drug dealer. I work my butt off. I'm trying. She has a swear jar in City Hall, and I owe this lady like $50. And that's at like 25 cents a word. So she's gonna be a rich woman. No, I do have evidence of that. In the most recent one, they can pull up a press release, or a council review press release, they do what's called a resolution. It gives out an opinion of the body, and it requires public discussion and a vote. And they denied all of you that by having and passing out a press release. You can call it whatever you want. The legal definition of a resolution is an opinion of the council that has to be voted on by a majority. It has no legal authority, no legal binding. It's just an expression of a view from the body. It's not called a press release. You can call it a press release all you want, but it's not. It's a resolution. And they did that illegally too. And all their names were signed to it. Call it a press release all you want. Just because they give it to the paper doesn't mean it. It's a resolution. It's on a sealed letterhead. It has all the legal definitions of a resolution. And they've done it before. I have evidence of it. I'm not calling for resignations anymore. I would love to work with these people. I think the people are going to make the decisions next election on who's going to be sitting up here with me. I'm not going anywhere. I'll tell you that. And if I do, I'll be right back up here next November. Any other questions, please?
Yeah, I got one.
Yes.
I was researching about the garbage that you want to get rid of. And I asked a question to the council when they was here. How would that affect the drunk would pick up the garbage? How would that affect the people of Falmouth? And they said it would go up to $19 a month, which is not true. I live outside the county. I pay drunkie at $16 a month. We're all paying $13 a month. I equate the garbage truck like me having a gravel driveway, going out and buying a dump truck just so I don't have to pay the guy to bring it. And after I pay for the gas, the fuel, the insurance, the upkeep, whether I gotta drive it or not, I start scratching my head and say, why did I get this truck? What's it gonna do the difference if we don't have the garbage truck that say City of Falmouth rather than Rumpus? The garbage gonna be picked up. There'll be 3 guys that ain't on the truck that might be able to do the sidewalk, do fire hydrants, do whatever. I mean, we need so much done. And we do need garbage picked up. Y'all need that, that's for sure.
There's not enough maintenance people to do all that.
Well, not if they're on the garbage truck.
Well, Gary's handling this pretty much.
Yeah,
He knows
because-
what he's doing.
I know he knows what he's doing, but you can't take 5 people and do 10 people's job. Believe it or not, I walk on the sidewalk. I know those sidewalks need to be badly.
I guess if your question is, what are the benefits and what are the drawbacks?
Yeah.
So if we get out of trash, your bill can either stay the same, or we could, so when, I think it was the year, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago now. If Phyllis Wade was here, she would remind me. But about 5 or 6 years ago, we actually got a bid from her. They said they're gonna come in and pick up per house, $12.50 per household. We currently charge $13. Well, that would give us 50 cents per household, per bill, per month. And that would have given us about $5,000 to $10,000 profit. So instead of losing money, we would profit. And instead of trash being done 5 days a week, every day you see trash out on the streets here, depending on which people are on. Rumpke can come in and do it in 1 day, all the time. So we have one trash day, and the rate will stay the same. What I would like to see us do is bring that rate up to where it probably needs to be. Hopefully Rumpke will come in and do a bid, we'll do it for $12.50 still, we'll honor that, and it's going to help a little bit. We can then, so they'll still be picking it up, we'll be billing for it, so let's say they do it at 13 a household. We charge 16 a household, which is what you probably should be paying. That $3 per household per month will give us probably $30,000 to $50,000. That money could go and fund a full-time or cover the cost of the clerks. So the clerk's department's non-revenue generating, so we have to make money to fund them to run the city. So instead of that money losing, we turn into a profit. They're all picked up in 1 day, free up those funds to start funding the city hall staff and free up time for the other guys that, like you said, work on fire hydrants, work on city issues.
So then again, me as the landowner, the house owner, I'm still getting raised, I'm losing money again.
I'm sorry?
You're raising the money for the people that live in here, so there'll be another increase for us.
No, we'll see, you might have to go up a little bit.
It always goes up, everything.
Well, let me explain. So your trash might go up $3 a month, but your electric will drop by 50. So
That would be good.
overall, some of them will have to go. The ones that are losing money, we need to get away from and charge people what it costs to do it, so that we can fix it. Like it's like with sewer, we'll lose, like last year we lost $150,000. Do we continue to lose money and not charge you enough and continue to let these lines break and leak sewage into our rivers, which again is still happening right now? We have a line leaking over right over here by the bridge, the concrete bridge over here. There's been a line leaking over for years. We've known about it. We don't know how, like our guys just don't have the time to even go look for the issue. So we know what we did a couple months ago. We hired an independent contractor company, started digging for it and trying to find a leak. They dug over there for 4 days. Couldn't find a leak. $25,000 that cost us to fix nothing. So you either got to do it the right way and pay what it costs, or do it the wrong way and just keep passing the puck down, further down the line until someone has to fix it. Am I going to look like the bad guy for having some rates go up? Other rates are going to go down, but I promise you, utilities overall will be cheaper. Overall, and that's what we can look at. Some things will go up a little bit, other things will go down a lot. So you'll be paying less for better services, one day a week. Water that's cleaner, electric that's more efficient and cheaper rate. Yes.
I would like to point out that I am in support of the code enforcement officer and supporting using Rumpke for trash. I can give an instance. If I'm saying that the city employees don't have enough time in the day because they're picking up trash. I moved to my house on Wilson Lane in 2020. COVID had me and my parents disagreeing on some things, and it came the time that we were like, hey, I'm moving out. We got our own place. On my road, and this is there before I moved in, because my in-laws live on the road and they were reporting me a problem was longer than I've been there. There are poles supporting power lines on my road that have been lashed together with nylon rope. 2 poles right next to each other. One is rotted out the bottom, being supported by the other one, but rope lashed around it. I talked to Councilman Luke Price when he walked to my neighborhood and knocked on my door, and I told him about the issue. Nothing has been done since 2020. We are almost at 2024.
They need to call the city hall for an order to come out and fix it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that, maybe they
So
didn't get
when I
it.
say that, I'm in support of Rumpke because these boys don't need to be slinging trash. They need to be fixing our community.
Don't get it late.
Yes, Mayor.
Mark Christopher, Mayor of the City of Williamstown. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but Williamstown is in Grant County. And in 1822, it used to be Pendleton, but Grant County left Pendleton to become Grant County. And the seat for Grant County is Williamstown. And it was founded after Revolutionary War Captain William Arnold, who graciously donated his land. And he cared about his city so much that he ended up giving free lumber to anybody he was willing to build in his city to make something with the city. I'm not from Falmouth, but my family history is from Falmouth. I have family members here tonight. I didn't know they were going to be here, but my great-grandmother is from here, born and raised in Falmouth. A lot of family history here. And Skeeter Davis as well. I'm related to Skeeter Davis. She's from here, and she went to Tri-Ridge. But here's the thing, okay? I'm a new mayor. I'm newly elected. I just got elected this year, and so did he. And first, I see this with Mr. Mayor Sebastian Ernst. He's very passionate, is he not? Give him a round of applause. Very I also think you guys genuinely care about your city as much as he does. I think that's the reason why you guys are here tonight. Because you guys are tired of seeing things happen to your city and feel like there's nothing you can do about it. But guess what? You're all here, you're all voicing your opinions. You may not always agree with his opinion. He may not always agree with yours. That's okay. But what I'm hearing is the citizens and the mayor are the ones coming together saying, hey, something has to change. It can be this. We may sell it. We may not sell it. Here are some options. And I think that you have to give Mayor credit for the fact that he is new. And this is not an easy job, ladies and gentlemen. I've been here for 12 months, as he has. There are things I wished I could have done over the past 12 months. There's some things I have done. There's some things he has done. But it's a slow thing. And here's the deal. I agree with both sides of this. Do you want to put a Band-Aid on some of these issues today? How many have kids in this room? I do. You guys have kids? Okay, so what if I were to ask you, if we just put a Band-Aid or kick this down the curve, impeach him, whatever, 20 years from now, the bill goes to your kids. He's already shown you that in 2013 it was cheaper to fix it than it would be now. So are you asking to pass up on fixing this and just put a Band-Aid on it? And you're ultimately saying, hey, you know what? I want my kids to pay way more than it would cost me to go take care of my city today. I see the mayor trying to take care of the city, and I applaud you for that, because this is a very tough job. So that's my 2 cents. I support you, and I say thank you.
Like Alex said, I like it, but I don't love it.
It's tough.
I'm trying to love it, Alex. He's right. We do need unity, and I promise there will come from this. And it's going to take you all showing up, and we will bring unity back to the city, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Work with the city council too. You gotta be a little nicer.
I'll be nicer, I promise.
You got to. There's been so much hate that's been last time. That's what
I
I've been
Hey, gotcha.
next time too.
You'll be here next time too. And unfortunately, you gotta break a few eggs sometimes to make an omelet, right? I broke some eggs, but now let's make a delicious omelet first of all, right? And hopefully something good will come out of all this, and that's all I want. And your involvement means more to me than anything. They impeach me, I don't care. Keep showing up. Don't lose hope. Demand the changes you want to see. Ask questions. Demand things get put on the agenda. And when they're not, sign the paper and speak up and ask things. No answer.
Can you post that online?
I'm sorry?
Can you post that online?
Which one's that?
Your PowerPoint?
Yeah, I'll put it on there. It's all being recorded right now, so I'll post that.
Keep on, Tom.
Any other questions? Are you all cold out there? Or you
Yeah.
Okay. It's right there behind you. Click the pause button a few times. Up to
Good job.
We'll find out. I might, I don't know.
Yes. I have a question, obviously you probably don't know the answer because you're just sitting in talking to us? Are they still deliberating, the council members, or are they just trying to let
That's
us
a good
out?
sign. The longer they stay out, it's a good sign for you.
They haven't come back in here and voted it out, so they're still here. Unless they left, I can't wait to go. It wouldn't be on my.
I got something to say.
Yes, sir.
I've been coming here almost 3 years in March. And I have sat in this audience, the audience of one, so many times. And when we had the thing with the fire department, a lot of people showed up. And I made a statement, where y'all been? You should come. I do not live in this city. I live out in the county. But I also believe this is the county seat, and this represents the county, and it should look good, but it don't. And you should come there and tell them people, tell them all. I don't care which way you tell them. You have to tell Sebastian, you have to tell whoever what you want. If you're happy, I asked this question to City Council when I was the audience of one. Who of you is happy with the way this city looks? Not a reply. No. No one said yes. No one said no. So they know it's in bad shape. You've got to make them fix it. I can't. You got to make them fix it.
Without harassing.
Please.
Without harassing. Just making that.
I just want to say I support our mayor, but I think he can tell you too that I gave him or played the mom card this week. I said, you don't speak like that in public or at a meeting. You don't raise your voice and yell. You don't use ugly words. He agreed. He knows he was angry. And I know as well as he does, he's got a big mouth. But I've known him a long time. Rocky and I photographed his and Marissa's wedding. They're good kids.
I haven't been down here since I graduated. There's a night and day difference. I can tell you that. The streets look better. There's a few things that still need to be done. It looks good. And it's not just you guys, it's everybody.
There's a great quote about downtown. You can't build a community around parking lots and subdivisions. You have to have a thriving downtown. That's why I do focus a lot on that for downtown. It will have a ripple effect for the rest of the county. We can change things. What do people say about property values? Location, 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 right? We can make this a desirable location. We can turn Falmouth from a laughing stock of Northern Kentucky, you all know it is, to one of the nicest, cleanest cities in Kentucky. And it doesn't take anything more than a little hard work, love of grease, and community involvement.
The median property value went up about $4,000 in the last 3 years.
Wouldn't blacktopping the streets improve the city?
Yes, we put out for bids for blacktop. Nobody submitted bids in the time frame, but Mago has since come in and they're working on a bid for us now. We're trying to get it done. We have $330,000 in our road development fund, which is a completely separate fund that comes from the state. I plan to use quite a bit of it to fix some of the streets, one of them being out in Cardinal Ridge.
Where are we going to get all this money to fix it? Where are you going to get all this money to fix everything?
For the blacktop.
For the improvements on everything.
Yeah, but for road aid, we get money from the state every year that we put aside, and once it gets to a certain amount, we do a project. You don't want to do one street a year because you start losing money. There's a couple of streets at one time, we get a bunch of.
There's federal grants granted for state highways and things like that.
Quite around 50,000, 60,000 a year, somewhere around there, and every couple of years we'll fix some roads. And we have 330,000 right now that I plan to spend to fix the worst of the worst roads. So we are working on that, though, I promise. We put the bids out, we didn't get any, so we reached out to Mago, they're coming and building us a bid on the streets that we outlined. And there's a couple in town that we have. A couple were out of Cardinal Ridge and a couple were over in Hartley.
Bickerson.
Have you ever wondered why speed limits are 55 on all county highways and all state highways?
I'm sorry?
I was just telling her, have you ever wondered why speed limits are 55 miles per hour on all state highways? It's because any state highway that is 55 miles per hour or lower back in the back in the 50s and 60s when we had the gas crisis, were offered federal grants to fix their roadways. And those federal grants could only be used for that. So that's where that money comes from, is from the federal government offering those to work on the roads.
Any other questions?
I went to, my daughter Amanda and I went up north and went through, we went on all the little back roads back through the little towns, and it was some of the prettiest little towns.